Good morning.
Um, Stephanie brings it up. Okay. I'm getting there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, right? Okay, let me see here. Oh, shit. Okay, that didn't work. Start video. Okay. I'll make you bigger.
No, don't make me bigger.
That probably did sound pretty weird, didn't it? Okay, so we should have a few others coming.
Excellent.
And I did see on there that it's recording. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I thought it might be a good idea to kind of reflect back and.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to need it because I'm using my computer for the Zoom, so I can't actually do the work at the same time. So
Perfect.
I will need that. So that'll be awesome. I'm sure other people will too. So we've got two of us right now. I'm Trina, by the way. I don't know if I've officially met you yet, but and this is Amy.
I'm Amy.
So, and you know Ben.
Yes, I do.
So how did you meet Ben?
So Ben Heaston, he used to work for the Reader for his brother, his older brother, John Heaston.
Yeah.
And I helped launch back in 2001. It's called a publication called the Employment Guide. It was a free employment publication for, it was a supplement for businesses that they could run help wanted ads. And we delivered this publication in the Omaha area at gas stations, grocery stores, bars, grills, all these different places around town. And Ben Heaston was the circulation manager, the distribution manager for the Reader. So
Okay.
we
All
both
right.
were doing the same kind of thing. That's how I met him, and just partnered up with those guys on the circulation side. And yeah, we've been kind of friends ever since.
Awesome.
Then we had an issue with, back in 2008 with the economy.
Oh, sure.
And,
Yeah.
I
A
ended
small
up,
one.
yeah. So 2008 to 2010, I was doing the employment, here in Omaha, closed down our office and was working out of the home. And John Heaston had omahajobs.com.
Okay.
With the employment guide, it was a national kind of brand website, all that. And when we closed the office, decided to, really wanted something more local. And John Heaston had omahajobs.com.
Sweet.
So then I went over there and, I've been working with those guys for, forever. And
Hey,
then,
Hi, Ben.
Or Clay. It's been
Hello.
surrounded by Heaston's for years.
Yes.
Yeah, I was having him tell me how he knew you. So yeah, it sounds like he knows your whole family.
The first time I met Clay, he came and brought one of our Reader racks to the Reader office, basically threw it at me and told me to stay out of the Hy-Vees, I think is what it was, because they were paying for the racks and we weren't allowed to be in there. That was my first time I met Clay. And I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
I was like, these guys are serious about this paper circulation stuff. And my brother was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. These guys are serious about this paper circulation stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yep. But yeah, so then I started working with omahajobs.com over at the Reader. And are you guys familiar with the Reader at all?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we ended up, we did a nosedive in 2008 all the way to probably about 2012. And we started to talk to clients. They didn't want to talk about print anymore. So then we were like, you know, his brother John, who runs the Reader, was like, we got to figure this digital stuff out
Right.
because businesses need, you know, some online presence, you know, work and, you know, Google, Bing, Yelp, SEO, SEM, you know, all these digital, you know, so we kind of figured all that out. Starting probably in 2011, we became a Google partner. And we've done some absolutely amazing things here in Omaha with a small group of like 3 or 4 of us. John Heaston became the president of the Alternative Newspapers Association of America because of all the research and that we've been doing on the digital side. So he became, the president of the board, which is a big deal. And we've been helping companies, thousands of companies, you know, ever since. And most of them are local. Some of the businesses that I've been like really working closely with over the years, Buc-ee's convenience stores. I did all of their Google locally and nationally.
Nice.
Just Good Meat, you know, Pella Windows and Doors, Iman. You know, the list just kind of goes on and on. Now, we opened up Omaha Loco, which is a delivery service that's competing with DoorDash and Grubhub, but it's locally owned. So now I'm working with restaurants, and helping them with their SEO, with their Google My Business, doing integrations, you know, all that stuff. So
Clay's officially the general manager of Loco. So if you ever have a problem with your orders, I'll give you his cell phone number and you can call him directly.
My food's cold. Just kidding.
Microwave.
Do we have everybody here?
Well, I mean, we've got 2 people. Jamie just showed up. So, so this is Jamie.
We have a question. Freya, maybe you can help us.
He's recording.
Okay, so you'll send it to us?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So,
All right, let's get started. So I guess what I was just trying to accomplish is that I know Google is very important. And of course, Ben's always been highly influential on telling me that I need to get my shit together when it comes to Google.
Yes.
He's been telling me that for probably 2 years, and I'm finally like getting on board. I was on board a year ago, but it just took me forever to really kind of get things in line. In our minds, Google may quite possibly pass Zillow, and so we want to be prepared for anything like that in the future. And we'd like to make sure that we have Google pages and anything possible that we can do to drive business to our pages and whatever else we need to do. We're all ears. So we want to learn from you, get everything set up, and if we need to set up other webinars, I'm willing to pay you for it. We'd be happy to do that too. So I'm just going to let you get started. Is that okay?
Yeah, roger that. All right, so sounds good. I love this digital space. I know it really, really well. And you guys just like owners, agents, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of business that you run. It is so, so important. And especially like real estate agents. And, you know, I've been telling Ben, and I've got friends that are real estate agents, and they just don't, like, well, Ben, you get it, but most people just don't get it. They don't want to invest the time into it. I've got mortgage lenders that I work with. It's the ones that will listen and take, you know, this information and run with it that are going to be successful. I preach and preach and preach to every single kind of business that's out there. And the ones that take this information are the ones that are going to do really well. You get on it and get on it now. You know, it's just going to be a huge benefit. And this is kind of like this one agent that is a friend of mine. He just recently moved out of Omaha and now he's in Texas. But I've known him for like 10 years. And I've been telling him, you know, you've got to get your Google My Business page set up. You got to get your LinkedIn. You got to get your Facebook. You got to get your Yelp, you know. that and Bing and some other, online places that people go to that are high authoritative, where it's super important that you have your listing on there because, people are looking you guys up. And one of the things that I told him was like, when you have your signs up, in front of houses, what is the first thing that somebody's doing? It's hard for people. People are like super impatient. They just want to find the listing. I even called Ben one time and was just like, dude, I can't find this. I can't get anywhere with this one house. This was just like a couple months ago because my brother-in-law was looking for a house and I couldn't get any information on this house. I Googled it. I couldn't find the listing. I was just done with it. But the thing is like what I was telling him was like, what is the first thing that people do when they see your sign? I mean, it says Ben Heaston. I'm going to Google Ben Heaston, or I'm going to Google, Berkshire and try to find the listing. But more so, it's the name on the, on that sign that's sitting in front of, the house. I mean, wouldn't that be kind of accurate? Or what am I missing? Would that be
No, you're so accurate. So I was actually on vacation this past week, and one of the things that I literally noticed is that every single thing that we talked about, and maybe it was just because my mind was I was thinking about it, but every single thing we talked about, we were Googling everything, Googling this, Googling that, anything you can think of. If there was a weird wave that came in, we'd Google it. And it just, of course, obviously I've been thinking about Google for a while and trying to get everything set up anyway. And so my brain was just like, oh my gosh, like, why do I not have my page set up yet? So I know I started on it, but the importance of it is crazy right now. So.
Yeah. And I was just kind of telling him, I'm like, you've got all these advertisements out there, all these signs. And why wouldn't you have, your Google My Business page up to date or even created or any of that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just do an incognito of yourself and see what happens and put yourself in the place of somebody that's looking for a home, right? And it comes down to those signs. I'm like, dude, you've got like 50 of them out there. And when I Google your name, you don't even come up, or if you do come up, it goes to a weird page because I'm finding some photos and, Google's finding your name that's tagged and it's bringing up real goofy stuff, or it's somebody else. So that's why it's like really important to have like your listings, your name, because that's what they're searching for and set up. So I'm going to do a quick screen share and go through, just kind of what some of this looks like. And then we'll just kind of go from there.
Okay. Sounds good.
How many, I got a quick question. Who has pages set up already? Whether they're active doing it or not, but do you guys at least all have pages set up?
Mine will be done. I'm waiting for a code.
Yeah. I have mine set up. Jamie, do you?
I think
Okay.
it's started, but
Yeah.
I haven't like done
Yeah.
anything with it.
Yeah.
And I
so,
think
so I
I
think
think
we've
that-
all kind of know that it's important to have one. So
Right.
we've basically started it, but we haven't done what we need to do with it. So I know I'm learning that you need to have, I don't know, at least 100 photos on there, and you need to
Yeah.
post your listings on there. You need to do all these things in order to create leads or attraction to your page. And so, so we need to kind of make sure we know the basics and we have it all set up accurately. And then two, how do we drive business and drive people to our page?
All right, sounds good. So we've got probably about maybe 25 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll throw this all out to you. Here's just kind of an example. Trina, I'm just Googling you just to see what comes up. Looks like you have your Google My Business page. One of the things, it's kind of a Google guideline. Since you guys are sharing the same address of the main location, right?
Mhm.
Let's see.
Can we put multiple addresses since Berkshire's in different places? Like if there's one in Papillion, can we do that?
Yes. I think as far as like that would be up to real estate. For Google, that's just if you want your search to be better for Papillion, I think. Clay can correct me if I'm wrong there. But I think legally, advertising wise, you can use any of the broker offices just as long as you have. I mean, I think Ashley would know that, right? You're a resident team broker, Ashley. So advertising, I think legally we just have to have the broker name and an actual office address assigned that we're tagged to.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just have to fill in the proper address then on your page. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, but I think you can use any of the offices. You could use Regency, you could use
Yes.
Village Point, you could use Papillion.
Yep.
Yep.
Whatever is kind of your base, you know, is ideal. But the thing is that Google, you know, their guidelines is we're looking at Berkshire Hathaway over off of Village Point, right?
Yeah.
The way that Google works is that you've got to make sure, and this is kind of like, you know, your address is the same as the Village Point, but the difference is that you've got your, what is that, like your office number or your,
That's actually,
That's an old office number.
that
that's
one?
actually, what is that, Ambassador Real Estate maybe?
Oh
That
yeah,
might-
that's probably
I don't
the
know if
actual ambassador real estate suite number.
Yeah, it might be their suite number or it might be Berkshire suite number. I'm not
It's
sure.
Ambassadors.
Because the thing is that when somebody Googles Berkshire Hathaway on Village Point, the only thing that should come up is the main location. Google doesn't
Okay.
like you sharing addresses because it just doesn't make sense to it. It shows it as a duplicate address, but if you got like a room number, you know, if it's set up, you could use that, like you have in yours, Trina.
Okay.
102. And since there's, you have one location, Village Point, that we're going to be talking about, and if there's 20 agents in that, the way that the guidelines state is that it should just be your name, not BHHS Ambassador Real Estate. It should be just Trina.
Okay.
But the thing is I know talking to Ben, he's just like, Clay, we've got to have it, you know, it's kind of required by the real estate that you are being represented under a specific real estate company,
Right.
not just you. So
I mean,
it's
if
kind
I'm
of
wrong about that, Ashley or Trina, let me know. But I think we have to have BHHS in any public marketing we do, right?
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
would be considered that.
yeah. So it's So the way that you could do it is just exactly like that, or you could spell it out: Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and then dash Ambassador Real Estate.
And I'm not sure, Ben. I mean, we might have to look into that because I don't know if you're technically advertising, you're just creating a page for yourself.
I think where we get it is if you're using reviews and putting pictures up there and using it.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, because if you're using it, then you're using it for marketing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So you're kind of.
Does everybody know how to set up their Google My Business page? Just like
Yeah.
the initial, like where you go to actually set it up.
Maybe go through that really quickly just
Yeah.
so we can have a refresher.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you that the name is really important, but I also wanted to kind of give you an idea of the guidelines too. Everybody does it. It's all kind of a mess. But the thing is, it's trying to keep the duplicated, listings. It's trying to clean that out, because if you have all these duplicate listings, all these agents putting the same address down, Google's going to be like, what the hell do I show? Is it the main office, or do I show all these other, agents? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm looking for one thing. I'm looking for the main office out there, at Village Point. It's the business entity. That's it. But, I get where you're coming, but I like the 102, having that separated, because then Google knows that, there's a space inside this particular address that you're at, you know. It's not the best way to do it, but it is kind of what it is.
Okay.
But at least, Trina, like when I put your name in, this is what comes up, though. You know what I'm saying? So this is what people are looking at. This is what people, are checking out. So when you're on your Google My Business page, we got to make sure that the website is linked straight to your page. So let's see where it goes real quick. You know, is this the right page that you want it to go to? If it is, fantastic, and it looks like it is. So, excellent. So I'm going to jump into like the back end. And the way that you find your Google My Business page is you have to have a Gmail account or a Google account. I'm logged in. Right next to it are these little apps. You click on that and you want to look for the Google My Business blue tent. This is once you claim it and it's under your account. This is how you find it. So you just click on that. Here are some of the accounts that I manage. Yours would come up specifically, but I'm going to show you kind of the back end of what it looks like. But I'll also show you how to, get one set up as well. One that I was doing, there's a restaurant, it's called The Galley. It's off of 49th and Center. I was just talking to them recently, and but I wanted to show you kind of like what all this, what you should be doing, why is it important, and all that stuff. So the first thing is that you go to the info button, and this is all the information in regards to the listing. The name of the business, which should be, the real estate agent, all that information. Also, the categories are super important. And The Galley, just as an example, they do pizza. And the only thing that they had set up on their category was takeout restaurant. And I had asked them, guys, I'm like, what else do you do? What is kind of like your feature? And they're like, oh, we do pizza. And I'm like, okay, great. So this is where you put in that category, pizza. So if I'm on my phone and I'm close to them, off of 50th and Center or 60th and Center, out in kind of that area, before they weren't showing up in a pizza search. And now, because if you think about it, you got to make sure that the category is exactly the way it's intended, and it puts you in that category. So if I'm close to you, or if I live in a home that's close to The Galley, and I'm looking for pizza, the goal is that, your listing will show up. So having your category set up, real estate agent, real estate consultant, and the way that you find that is you just click on that. There's already predetermined categories, and then you just kind of search for whatever you're looking for. Real estate, and see kind of what categories come up that make sense. And there's a consultant. So I would put a consultant, I would put agent. The agent would be the main one, and then you just apply and move on. So having your category set up is super important. The address, if you've got a suite or a room number, put that in there. You could also put service areas. Agents, I'm assuming you guys are 24/7. So you just, put 24 hours a day.
Yes,
Yeah.
And then that you could, bam, done. Your phone number, and just the basic info. So pretty simple. Just make sure that you go through there and you just enter everything that makes sense to you guys. Having a nice description is nice as well.
So Amy just asked, is there a place to do keywords?
There is.
You could do like service options. It is not necessary. So let's say I'm an agent in Papillion. It is not necessary, and never put the city in your business name. So here's an example. Like McDonald's, there's 100 of them in town. I'm not going to put McDonald's Papillion, McDonald's Gretna. It's not necessary. Google already knows where you're at based off of the address.
Oh.
So back in the day, it was called keyword stuffing, and people would put in Papillion, 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 Papillion. Google doesn't care about that. It already knows where you're at, and it's going to serve you whatever location that you put in. So I had an agent that lived in Papillion, and there was a Papillion location branch that he used. So his main focus was Papillion. So he put that particular area location in, or the closest one that was there. But you could also do the service area too. So it's not necessary, and it's just Google doesn't care about it because it's got the address.
Gotcha.
But this is where you could put like your service area, whatever zip codes and all that. Here is a really good insight. This is good information, and I'm going to share this with you. This is probably one of the most important things that I wanted to show to you so you guys could understand how all this Google stuff works. So every Google My Business page has an insight button. So the first thing that comes up, it's 1 month, how customers search for your business. In regards to the Galley, there's 36,744 complete searches overall. But 33,000 of those are discovery. Those are just people who find the business searching for whatever category, if it's pizza, whatever. Remember how I talked about the categories? This is why it's so important. The direct is people are putting in the Galley. And then this little gold little area, branded searches. This is something new that Google just came up with probably a couple years ago. And so if somebody types in Pizza Hut, that is a branded search where the Galley might be showing up within that listing. So Pizza Hut will come up, and then it'll show 2 other listings, and the Galley could be one of those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So kind of the same thing with real estate agents. You could potentially come up in a branded search when somebody puts in, NP Dodge or something like that.
So that discovery is the huge one.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, the discovery is huge, but this is why you want to make sure all your information is in there accurately. You've got the categories set up correctly, because you don't want to put categories that doesn't relate to you. You know what I'm saying? It'll throw everything off. So in this,
Is that where you post, like if you want to just post photos to your site, is that where you go to do it?
I'll get to that here in a sec.
Okay.
So the next thing is, so out of all the searching that's going on, you could see listing on search, which is just regular search results, about almost 8,000. There's 42,000 listing on maps. So basically the mapping thing could be like mobile. But you could see, people are Googling it, and look at what's coming up. It's pretty massive. Out of all those searches, there are actions, website, directions, calling, if they're doing any messaging. Where are these people showing up when they're searching for you, part of the city? Red balloon is where the Galley is located. So basically you could take, you could do some advertising if you wanted to in these particular areas. It kind of gives you an idea of where your customers are coming from. So if you wanted to do Google Ads or whatever, at least you could kind of have an idea of where the customers are, your current customers or current people are searching. The call, when they're calling, what your business is known for, popular for lunch, casual, popular for dinner. And this information is actually coming from, I do believe, from the reviews, because people are saying, oh, I had great lunch here. Oh, it's a casual, it's a friendly environment. Oh, this place is great for dinner, or, oh, we had dinner here and the pizza was great. So that's kind of where
where they're getting that, and some other places too. But primarily, I think it's coming from the reviews.
Okay.
Popular Times, photos. This is where I was really pushing the galley on, because they had like 10 photos. And if you guys have never been to the galley, check it out, because they have some awesome looking food. So one of the things that I told them, like, you guys have got to get in there and post photos. Post lots of photos, get in there and do your thing. Because businesses like them are getting 92,000, like, have been viewed as similar business. With him, it's 34,000. But before, it was probably 6,000. They've been starting to post a lot of photos and doing things like that. So it was, I told them how important it was. So go into photos. On the left-hand side, you could see, again, they only had like about 10 photos, but check it out. So when they post a photo right down here, this one was 3 weeks ago, has gotten about 500 views. That's what that little eye is.
Wow.
So now he goes in here and looks at that and he's like, dang, he's like, a lot of people are looking at my photos. And this is why I keep telling businesses, real estate agents, whatever. I'm like, look, you really have got to get some photos going, because, like my wife, she's like, oh, I wonder if the galley has Diet Coke. Well, check it out. They've been putting all of their product line in there. You know what I mean?
So for us, would it just be houses that we've sold? Can we put the families that we took pictures of? I mean, is that
You can do even
Yeah.
pictures to show a house.
anything? Yeah.
Do a little video or anything related to real estate. It doesn't even have to be completely related to real estate. You can just say, wow, my day has been crazy because of this or whatever, and kind of relate it back to real estate.
So-
Throw it in there.
Okay, so check this out. Casey Parker, she's a mortgage lender. I worked with her a few years ago, and I told her, you really got to get some photos going. I helped her set this thing up. She's got a great photo of her. But one of the things that I really wanted to push with her was start posting photos of your clients and what they've been doing. Home sweet home, like you guys, sold houses, photos of, of the agent, photos of, just all this stuff is good stuff, because people want to see, who are the people, or, just a little bit about her. Has she been around a while?
So FYI, these all kind of look like the same type of photos. So are there other, like, what else besides those for her would you recommend, like, posting?
I would
Like, you
say
want to get people's attention, obviously.
anything that would be hugely valuable, like with the real estate agent. Let's say I have a $60,000 house. For an agent, I'd be like, I wonder if this person sells houses that are in this range. Or let's say I have a $6 million house. Or let's say that I do commercial real estate. Have photos of businesses, photos of those houses would be really nice. That says sold, right? That would
Sold
be,
photos with your clients standing in front of the houses, I think, would probably be one of the best things we could get.
yes.
Okay.
I'm terrible.
The price
at
range
it.
and whatnot you work with as well.
And
Yeah, I'm terrible at that photo.
everybody is terrible at that. Not just agents, but everybody. You know what I mean?
And yet our life depends on it right now.
So yeah, so just make sure that you stuff it with lots of photos.
Okay.
And if you could tag the photos too, that would be great.
Mm. Okay,
The
to
galley,
do
Omaha, Nebraska, the address. So you guys, it would be, your name. Have you ever done a search on your name? Trina, we'll pick on you.
Thanks.
So then we go to images, because this is what people are doing. Yeah. Check it out.
Who is that? That is not Trina Wishahan.
Who's that chick that's not Trina but has her?
Couple of them that are not Trina.
Yeah, that's not me either.
Mine pulls up some.
That's weird.
Liars. Did they take your name and use it?
But I did sell that house and that house and that house.
You
That's
know,
good. Okay, so that's good at least.
but just do that. So if you could, you know, tag the photos, because it's going to help Google start showing those images.
Is there something I can do to remove the headstone as one of the first images that pops up? That's kind of morbid.
Well, the
That's what-
problem is that it's kind of coming up on that. Then you could just click on it and see what the heck's going on with it.
I mean, that's my Uncle Harv. He died 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah. So
That's crazy, though. My Uncle Harv, that's 40 years ago that my Uncle Harv passed away, and for some odd reason, that comes up in an image search.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
make
that-
sure you tag your photos when you're doing them in the Google My Business page, right?
Okay.
Save them to your save them
I
to your computer, tag them, and then go in and put in, you know, and then drag it in and do it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
real
Ashley's
easy.
got a
I
question for
have a
you.
question.
I think we got about 5 minutes. I think.
Okay.
Okay, real quick. So my business profile says it's been claimed and verified by somebody else, that it won't show me the email address, but I can tell it's like my old email that I have no access to.
Okay, that's good. What is your name?
Ashley O'Malley, ASHLEE. Okay, warning. There's gonna be some pictures that come up from fitness. I'm half naked, sorry.
So you do this. You go to Own This Business.
Sorry.
Make sure you're logged in.
I did that, but I don't have access to that.
Request access,
Yeah,
and then just you want to get it,
okay.
and then put your email in there. Your current email, your current Gmail account, which you'll be already logged in, so it's already going to know, right?
Okay.
And then you
Yeah,
just put your phone number in there, and then you hit submit, and then about 5 business days later, you should be getting an alert.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so I did that, but I don't think I ever got.
Everything takes so darn long.
Oh, what my alert said. My alert said something like nobody else has claimed it or something. So I guess it's yours, maybe.
Yeah, you just do your thing.
Yay! So you get for having a unique name.
What?
Does that make sense? If you
Yeah.
have any problems, issues, just send me an email and I'll help you with that because it's easy to
Okay.
do.
Okay, sounds good.
I want you guys to do posts. So when you're in your Google My Business page, you just do a post. What does
Okay.
a post look like? Let's just do Benjamin Heaston. I'm looking for him. The posts come up right here, right underneath the reviews.
Oh, gotcha.
See that?
Well, I
And his last one was July 8th. If you could do that often, that would be great.
Okay.
And
Now,
let's-
as far as like listings go, when you do posts, do you just post the link? Do you post a picture? How do you?
That was
do it?
automatic.
Oh, it
Berkshire
does?
must have done that, or HomeSnap, or somebody did that.
so just
I
come up.
do that Ashland one.
Oh, so
just
that's Snap probably because I get
add a-
email. Google did this or that or whatever.
Yeah, add an event, add an update, and this is where you can put the image. And then write
Okay.
your post. And then you can put the link right here going straight to that listing.
Perfect. And
I
then
would
we
do
can
that. Google loves it.
our of the listing and then it'll go right.
Okay,
to our
the other thing I wanted to talk about was reviews. Reviews are so important. And if you can get this if you could get specific, really specific on your reviews. So check out the one that I did for Ben. If you're looking for a real estate agent to sell your home, buying a home in the Omaha area, Ben Heaston will work for you. Ben Heaston is a no-nonsense real estate agent. So kind of keyword stuffing. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate is the best around.
Nice.
Google loves that. They love reviews, get reviews. They're third party, they're unbiased. It's going to help you rank. Get as many as you can, but don't get them all at once. So I know Trina, you only had one.
Yeah.
We don't want 50 of them in the next week. We want like 5 to 10. So,
Okay.
because Google will be like, wait a minute here, why is she getting 50 reviews in a week?
Okay.
But if they could get really specific in the review, that would be awesome. Because it's like the galley. Oh, they had the great pizza. They had the great hamburger pizza that I ordered from, whatever. So the more specific on the review you can get to do that keyword stuffing, it'll help.
Okay.
Does that make
So
sense?
the majority of my reviews are on Zillow or Realtor.com. I was talking to my coach a couple weeks ago, and he said, well, then just take a picture or a snapshot of it and put a photo of it on Google, since you can't really transfer those over. Is that what you suggest, or what's your
No.
thought?
You got to get them to do it.
Well, right, and moving forward, right, but the ones that are already done on
Trina.
Nope.
That's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt to put it on there. But I
It's
don't know
not.
that it's not gonna help either, I don't think really either.
It's not, it's
Okay.
going to help zero.
So it'd just be another photo then, basically, is all.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you don't need that. The only thing that you need is those photos. I've got like less than a minute and we're going to drop. But yeah, get reviews, get the photos, get it set up. If you guys need anything, just send me an email. And then I can work with you guys on getting your stuff set up. It's super easy. Play around with it. I want you to play around with Googling yourself. But again, put yourself out there. Like, your sign is out there. That is what people are going to be Googling. So what do you need to have on there? Those sold houses from your clients, reviews, do posts, make sure your info is correct on this. You also want to get in and do your LinkedIn, just like you do your Google My Business. If you could get into Bing and Yelp, that would be great too. Set it up just like your Google My Business page. Your Facebook page, make sure it's set up exactly like your Google My Business. You want to be consistent with the naming of everything and photos. Just keep everything consistent. That is what's going to help you with your online presence, flat out. Don't change anything. Get the reviews, get your information exactly the same, and you guys will be, it'll be, you'll be great. But you got to get on it and get on it now. If you do posting on Facebook, you need to do it in Google My Business right here. Google loves that. Google is going to, like you said, Trina, it's passing Zillow or whatever it is. So Google is by far the best thing that you need to optimize and get all this stuff set up. Nothing else really matters, right? Because that's what people are doing, is that they're Googling. But make sure you have your listing